in a world where races cease to exist.
All right, guys, welcome back. I am Ben with Run Slow to Run Fast. Today, I'm doing a little bit of a different video. Today, I'm going to give you my race predictions for the JFK 50 miler coming up here this weekend. I believe it's scheduled for November 21st. So it's one of the few races that is going on right now, and it is a competitive race. So going to be a battle royale of some of the best names in ultra running. Really looking forward to it. Let's break down some of the racers, at least on the men's side, and tell you my predictions, what I think about what they can do in this race. All right, before we dive into who some of the racers are, let's talk about the race itself. The JFK 50 miler is a race that's held in Maryland. It started in 1963, and so this is the 58th running of the JFK 50 miler. It's actually kind of cool, the background to it. The JFK 50 miler was started by John F. Kennedy in 63 when he decided that he wanted some of his military officers to be able to do the same thing that Teddy Roosevelt had his military officers do, which was cover 50 miles in 20 hours. So obviously the races that we're going to talk about today are going to chip off quite a bit of time from that 20 hour mark, but this is something that is a really cool history of the race. I encourage you to go to the website, which I will leave a link for in the description. But the JFK 50 miler is one of the oldest ultra races in the country and a really exciting one, again, especially to see this year with so many great racers towing the line and getting ready for this JFK 50 miler. All right, as I go through the racers, these are in no particular order, so this is not my prediction. My prediction will come at the end of the video, but let's start off with Jared Hazen. So Jared Hazen is one of the Coconino Cowboys. He's a pretty young guy. He, I believe, is 25 years old as of now, so he's definitely done some great things in the short time that he's been racing, at least in the ultra scene. He was second place, second fastest time ever at the Western States 100. Ultra sign-up has him at 94%, so a little bit lower because of a few races where he got like fifth and things like that. So, but he typically does some of the harder races. So again, Western States where he went kind of toe to toe with Jim Walmsley and again, finished second fastest time ever at Western States. It was a little bit of a cooler year in 2019 when he did the race, but he did fantastic. And I believe his race time was like 14:19 or something like that. Just something incredible and unbelievable for that particular course. All right, next up, we're going to talk about Hayden Hawks. Hayden Hawks is one of my favorite racers. He's a native to Utah where I live, so I follow him pretty closely. His ultra sign-up ratings are pretty incredible. The races that he's done really over the last 2 years, he's gotten first or second in. He hasn't towed some of the bigger races like Western States. He's mostly stayed in that 50 to 100K distance mark, but he's done some incredible things there. Just to give you an idea of some of the things that he's done recently in 2020, one of the last races that took place before the pandemic hit, he did the Black Canyon Ultra 100K down in Arizona and got first place there at a fantastic time. I think one of the top 5 fastest times there at Black Canyon Ultras. His ultra sign-up rating is 98%. He, I believe, has only done one other race this year, which is the Squaw Peak 50 miler, where he not only got first place, but also got the course record for that particular race. But that is a smaller race, not one of the bigger races as far as ultras go. But he definitely has a lot of leg speed, ran track in college, and has really transitioned over to trails very well and is moving his way into some of the bigger ultras. I know that he's signed up for Western States this coming year, so it's exciting to see what he'll do as well. Definitely, one of the top favorites as far as the JFK 50 miler. All right, next up, we're going to talk about Matt Daniels. Matt Daniels is a name that is fairly new to the ultra running scene. He's only been ultra running for a couple of years, but he's definitely made waves in the things that he's done thus far. So Black Canyon, for instance, he did, I believe in 2019, he not only won, but I believe he set the course record there at Black Canyon Ultra, which I believe is the largest 100K in the country. So for him to be able to do that just shows you the level of competitiveness that he has. Additionally, he ran Western States in 2019, where I believe he got 4th place. So definitely a great runner. The only question that I have about Matt Daniels is he has posted over the past couple of weeks that he struggled with injury a little bit. So we'll see if that comes back to bite him in terms of the JFK 50 miler. But I know he's ready to go. He took some time off and should be ready to go for the race. It's just a matter of, did he have enough time to hit the training block that he wanted to be able to succeed and win this race. All right, next up we have a lesser known name, technically one of the Coconino Cowboys as well, but his name is Stephen Kersh. He's fairly new to the ultra running scene as well, but definitely has some great leg speed. And as you may know, if he's a Coconino Cowboy, you can't count him out. So he's been doing a lot of big training recently. He struggled with injury about a year and a half, 2 years ago. He struggled with some injury and found out that he had an autoimmune disease. So he's been kind of working through that, and really over the last couple of years, he's done some fantastic things. So Western States, his first year running it was in 2019, where he got 7th place. So definitely, amazing to be able to finish top 10 at Western States. He's done some other smaller races where he's done well, but we don't have a lot of track record as far as Stephen Kersh goes for this upcoming JFK 50 miler. So he is kind of a question mark. We'll see if he can compete with some of the other big names that are coming out for this race. All right, next up we have another Coconino Cowboy to talk about. That is Tim Freriks. He's going to be racing the JFK 50 miler as well. So you can kind of see a trend here. There's lots of Coconino Cowboys that are racing in this race. But Tim definitely has some great accolades to his name. He got 14th at Western States a couple of years ago and hasn't run it since. But he's got a 1st place finish at Black Canyon Ultra in 2018. He finished 1st at Transvolcania in 2017, and then he got 2nd place at Lake Sonoma in 2016. So he definitely does some great things. He's another Hoka One One athlete. Definitely has some great leg speed. He and Jared did a long run, a 30 miler at a 6:35 pace. So those guys can definitely move, and there are people to watch out for in this race. I would say the most dangerous racer is going to be Jared Hazen because of, again, what he's done at Western States. However, you've got Hayden Hawks, you've got Matt Daniels. Those guys can both move really quickly. They've got some great leg speed. So at the shorter distance of 50 miles, they may be dangerous, and it really could, those positions could certainly jostle up quite a bit. So it's interesting to see what happens there. Next, I would see Tim Freriks and then Stephen Kersh coming up after those guys. Definitely fantastic racers. At 50 miles, there's still a lot of things that can go wrong. They could bonk, they could get injured. There's lots of things that could happen that could shake that up. So definitely will be an interesting race. I'm glad to be able to see some of our favorite runners towing the line and being able to race in a competitive race this year. So looking forward to this JFK 50 miler. I will say that, unfortunately, I don't know much about the women's race as of right now. The only person that I know that is racing is Camille Herron. Obviously, with her records, she is a favorite for that race. I'm not sure who else is racing, but I'm sure it'll be competitive on the women's side as well, again, being one of the few races that is actually taking place here in 2020. So that's it for now. If you like this kind of video, let me know. This is my first time doing this type of video, so would definitely love to hear your feedback as to if you think this is something that you'd like me to do more, just because we're not getting a lot of news updates or things like that with regard to ultra running, and not a lot of races that are happening currently. Additionally, just to give you an update as to some of the things that are happening in my life and things that I'll share here on the channel. I'm building out a runner's home gym right now, as I think a lot of people are in 2020. It's proving to be fairly difficult just because equipment is hard to come by, but I'll give you some updates on that as I get this close to completion there with the runners or the ultra runners home gym. Additionally, I'll be picking up a pair of new shoes probably tomorrow, and we'll share my review of those. I'm not going to tell you exactly what they are just yet, but they have been very hard to come by. They've been out of stock for several months. It's a Hoka One One shoe, so there is a little teaser for you, but it's been very hard to come by, so I will be picking that up shortly, and we'll certainly drop my review of that as well. Hope your training is going well and that you're having a great 2020. Stay safe, and be sure to like and subscribe for more from Run Slow to Run Fast, and we will see you soon.